You ever have one of those moments where you're absolutely sure you're alone, but something deep in your bones tells you otherwise? That's what happened to me a few summers ago. It was supposed to be a fun weekend with friends, nothing but beer, laughter, and campfire stories. But what I experienced out there still wakes me up at night. My friend Darren invited a few of us out for a long weekend. His family owned this big stretch of land, totally isolated. Pine trees, dirt roads, and one old workshop sitting like a tumor at the edge of the clearing. It wasn't a cute barn or a rustic cabin. It was wrong the second you looked at it. The siding was warped, the windows fogged over with grime, and the huge metal door hung crooked on its hinges like a mouth frozen mid-scream. When we first peeked inside, the air hit me. Dry, stale, and sour, like something old had died in there a long time ago. The floor was dirt, actual dirt, not concrete. There were piles of broken tools, rusted saws, cracked jars filled with nails, and furniture draped in mildewed sheets. And up above, in a half-rotted loft, there were paintings of clowns, not fun ones, not colorful, happy circus clowns. These were painted in dull, muted oils, all long faces and smeared grins, their eyes too big, too sad, too human. When I pointed my flashlight up at them, I swear one of the heads was turned slightly away, like it had been looking somewhere else before I shined the light on it. Darren just laughed. "They've been there forever, man. Don't think about it too much." I tried not to. By the time the sun went down, we'd set up our tents and got the fire going. There were 5 of us. Me, Darren, his girlfriend Lily, and our friends Caleb and Rita. It was a perfect night at first. Clear sky, stars everywhere. The kind of deep quiet you only get miles away from anything. We drank, told dumb stories, roasted marshmallows. The usual. But as the night dragged on, one by one everyone turned in. First Rita, then Lily, then Caleb. Eventually it was just me and Darren, and then he stumbled off to his tent too, laughing about something I can't even remember now. That left me alone, the last one awake. It was close to 2:30 a.m. when I realized I needed to pee. The fire had burned down to glowing coals, and the night was so still it almost didn't feel real. I grabbed a flashlight and wandered off toward the edge of the clearing, near the side of the workshop. And that's when I noticed something inside. Through the cracked window, I could see that one of the old fluorescent lights was still on. It flickered occasionally, that sickly green-white pulse that makes everything look dead. At first, I thought I saw a piece of paper floating through the air, maybe a dollar bill caught in a draft. But the way it moved, it wasn't right. It drifted in slow, hypnotic loops, a perfect figure 8, again and again, like it was dancing. The motion was too smooth, too purposeful. I stared, feeling this weird tightness crawl up my spine. My brain was screaming moth, but my body wasn't convinced. It moved like something alive, like it knew I was watching. I remember the air felt thicker, heavier, and then suddenly, it stopped mid-air. For a second it just hung there, suspended, and then it drifted. Not fell, not floated, but drifted backward into the dark corner of the shop. The corner with the wooden chair. That chair hadn't been there before. I swear it. It was an old thing. Tall back, one arm broken off, and it was facing the wall. Something about that was worse than anything else. A chair turned away, like someone had been sitting in it, staring at the corner. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. The air from inside the workshop seemed to hum, this low vibration that I couldn't hear but I could feel. And then the fluorescent light flickered once, twice, and went out. Total blackness. I didn't move for a few seconds. Couldn't. Then I backed away, slow, keeping my eyes on that window. I went back to the fire pit, sat down and tried to convince myself it was nothing. Just a trick of the light, just a moth. I opened another beer, lit a cigarette and tried to distract myself by playing a game on my phone. The fire crackled. The forest creaked. Everything was fine, for a while. Maybe 10 minutes later I noticed Caleb crawl out of his tent to pee. He didn't say anything, just walked off into the trees, came back and zipped his tent shut again. That tiny glimpse of another human being was enough to make me feel normal again. I decided I'd finish my smoke and head to bed, but just before I did, I heard something behind me. From the workshop, a faint scrape, like wood dragging against dirt, then another, and then tap, tap, tap. 3 distinct knocks, slow, measured. I turned around, flashlight in hand, and shined it at the window. Nothing. The glass reflected the light right back at me. All I could see was my own face staring back. But I thought I saw movement behind my reflection, something tall. When I woke up, the sun was already up and everyone was sitting around the fire pit eating breakfast. I didn't say a word about what happened, but halfway through breakfast, Darren looked at me and said, "Dude, you stayed up late, huh? What time did you crash?" I told him, "Probably around 3. He frowned. "Weird. Who was up with you?" I said, "Nobody. Everyone went to bed." "Why?" He looked confused. "That's not possible." And then he said the words that still make my skin crawl every time I think about them. "When I got up to pee, I saw you by the fire, playing on your phone. There were 2 people standing behind you, looking over your shoulder." He said one was big, probably Caleb, he thought, but the other one was tall, too tall. He said the tall one's head almost reached the top of the workshop window behind me. I didn't go back to the workshop that morning. None of us did. We packed up later that day and drove home in silence. A week later, Darren texted me a photo. Said he'd gone back to grab some stuff his dad left there. The photo showed the corner of the workshop, the one with the chair, only now the chair was turned around, facing the window, and something, I don't know what, was sitting in it. He said when he went up to the loft, all the clown paintings were gone. Every single one. Just empty, nail-pocked wood. That was the last time he or I ever set foot there. But sometimes when I close my eyes, I still see that looping motion, that slow, mesmerizing figure 8, and I think about the reflection in the window, the one that wasn't mine. People always say the woods are quiet at night, peaceful, but I know better now. Sometimes the silence isn't peace. Sometimes it's attention, something listening, watching, waiting for you to be the last one awake.